Our next step is to start bringing some tension up onto the spokes. And the first step we need to do is to bring each nipple up to within a couple of threads of the end of the thread. So we just want a couple of threads visible as a gauge so that we can actually see where we are. The way I do that, I do it by eye and also using my fingernail as a gauge so I can actually pick up the end of the thread. So I slowed my fingernail along till it meets the end of the thread, and you'll notice that I've swapped to a normal electrician's screwdriver which has a plastic grip on it. You can use an electric drill or some other electrical screwdriver instead of a normal screwdriver at this stage, but for basic wheel building and when you're learning, it's much better to use just a hand tool. And I'm just going to wind these up until I can see two threads, and it's just a gap between my fingernail and the end of the thread. Move along to the next spoke, slide the fingernail up to the end of the thread, wind the nipple up to within, so you can just see, say, two threads. It doesn't matter how many threads you leave exposed, it can be 2, 3, 4, as long as you can see something, and they're all the same. What I've done there is I've gone around the top holes and come up to within 2 threads of the end. Now I'm going to turn the wheel over and do the same thing on the other side. We're back to the valve hole. And we're starting to get a fair bit of tension on there. And at this point we can give it a bit of a spin to see how it's looking. And you can see 3/4 of the art of wheel building is selecting the right length spokes, doing them all to the same tension, approximate tension, and that wheel hasn't been trued yet or anything, it's just been laced roughly, but it's already looking like a pretty good wheel. We've taken the nipples up to within a thread or two of the end of the thread, and now we're going to gradually increase the tension on the spokes by going around the complete wheel with the spoke key rather than the screwdriver. So we'll go around the whole wheel 2 turns of the spoke key. Bearing in mind that the fewer the spokes, the quicker the wheel is to build. This being 36 spokes, it's the most time consuming of all. Almost back to the starting point, which is the valve hole. We've tightened up the spokes with 2 turns of the spoke key, and we still need a bit more. And I think we're going to need at least another 2 turns, but we'll do it the basic way and do 1 turn for a start and see how it feels. We're just starting to hear that noise that we eventually hope to hear of the nipple really tightening up on the spoke. Almost back to the valve. And they're starting to feel quite tight now, but not tight enough yet. And the wheel looks quite true already without attempting to true it. So that's just hot off the press. It's not too bad. So what we're going to do now is put it in the truing stand, and we need some more tension, but we'll just true it up a little bit first before we put any more tension on it.